So you got the code 5 for your Civic, and you have a 1.5 turbo. You're not quite sure how to dump the coolant, or you're not sure how to change the coolant. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do that exactly. Not only that, I'll show you the tools I'll be using and the process that I go through and all that good stuff. So stay tuned and hopefully you enjoy the video. Well, first things first, we're going to have to turn the Civic around. I like to work in my garage and get it ready to change the coolant. Alright, we're in my garage. Welcome. Here's the tools I'm going to be using on the coolant. The first thing I'd like to talk about is these ramps. It's nice and easy to get the car from under the ground to get the coolant out from underneath. The next thing is going to be these hose clamp pliers. They're really helpful. I love them. I've used these a few times before. They're really nice. They also lock in place as well, so you can get the hose off really nice and easy. The next is going to be these picks, 90-degree picks, and different variety. If you don't have these, a flathead screwdriver should work as well, just to get the hose up from under and get the coolant out. But these picks are really great too. So you can get this stuff on Amazon as well. Also, we have the Type 2 antifreeze coolant that Honda recommends you use for this coolant change. So if they're going to recommend it, I'm going to recommend it. This is the only stuff I'm going to use. I know there's another channel that's using a biodegradable coolant, but I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to use what Honda recommends. And it's going to be the Type 2 50/50 pre-diluted antifreeze, which means you don't have to add water, which is great. And now it's time to get the car onto the ramp so we can dump the coolant and start this change. Alright, so before I turn off the car, I wanted to show you guys that my coolant temperature is in the middle, which means it's hot right now. So my recommendation would be to wait until the temperature comes down, and then you can take the cap off and take the coolant out. I just don't want you guys to get hurt, that's all. So I'm going to turn the engine off. I'm going to wait for it to cool down, and then I will be right back. While I'm waiting on my coolant to cool down and depressurize, I was wondering if you guys would be interested in seeing a project that I'm working on in the near future. And that would be that 1990 Ram. It needs a few things done to it. I'm really excited to drive it. Or if you guys want to, I was also thinking about making a video on a review on my Civic. So let me know in the comments if you guys want to see a review on the Civic, or if you want me to tackle that Ram. Before I empty the coolant, I wanted to show you guys this as well. What you can do is, when checking the temperature on your coolant, you don't really have to go under the hood. I mean, going under the hood and checking the cap is great, but another way you can do it is by just putting your car in auxiliary And in order to do that is just push your start button twice without pressing the brake. Once, twice, and then your car goes on auxiliary mode and it'll tell you what your coolant temperature is, which is mine is at cold now. I've waited about an hour and 10 minutes, so now it is time to take the coolant out. I was just looking at the cap, and as you can see it says, never open when hot. Hot coolant will scald you. That's why I'm pretty adamant about you checking the coolant temperature and all that good stuff. So, but I mean, it's cool now, so I'm gonna open it. It bubbled a little bit. You just gotta be really patient with this stuff. I just don't want you guys getting hurt. Anyways, this is loose. No pressure. You want to check the gasket. Gasket looks pretty good on mine. But if you have any orange particles or the gasket doesn't look healthy, it would be a good time to replace your cap. I'm just going to put that on top so nothing gets inside. Also, I suggest you guys do that as well, just so your radiator or the hoses or anything doesn't get contaminated with dirt or dust or anything like that. So, just so you guys know. Alright, let's get under the car. Before I get under the car, I know I feel like I'm stalling or something, but I like to wear gloves just in case, you know, the coolant's still hot or whatnot. Alright, so this is the front. That's a beautiful Honda logo. We're going to go down and around. Alright, so we're under the car now. You got, I didn't take my pan off. The shop that I used to get my oil changes at messed up my pan and refused to fix it, so that's cool. Anyways, I don't want to have a pan because it's just kind of in the way. And if there's anything that's spilling or anything and I take that pan off, guess where it's going? Right in my face. So I don't want it. Anyways, I'm going to show you the secret to this whole thing. So we're looking, let me turn you guys around. Alright, so we're looking at, that's the radiator fan. Alright, you want to take this clamp off. You got a radiator hose and you got this pipe, this white pipe. It's got an adapter. Alright, so all I'm going to do is take this clamp off with that tool I showed you. That's it. That's as easy as that is. Looks like it'll come out pretty easy too. So, I will get that going. I gotta get off this creeper though. It's way too short. Have a pan so I'm not leaking a bunch of coolant. So there's that. I'm going to put this under here. There's nothing in it. Hopefully I don't make a mess. We'll see. Alright, now I'm going to go under with this tool that I showed you guys. I'll have a link so you guys can get one for yourself. This is great. I love this tool. Watch me get a bunch of coolant on my face. I hope not. We'll see. Alright, so I got my tool. I moved the clamp. See? Could actually move it a little more if I wanted, but that's what I love about this clamp. It's great. So I'm gonna take this out of my way. If you guys know what that sound is in the background, leave me a comment. Alright, now I'm just going to try to finesse this and hopefully not make a mess. Wish me luck. Alright, so I'm going to use, where's the camera? This guy here. It's an L, the prying tool. That's so hard to see back here. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see if that works. Oh, this one's shorter. Alright guys, I changed my mind. I'm going to take the other end off. So that means I'm going to have to put this back on. Alright, finally got the coolant coming out. The way that I did it was I didn't take the hose all the way off. I just put my prying tool in between the hose and where the hose is clamped to. So I'm going to let this come out. Also, at this time, you're going to want to burp the system where you're going to squeeze the radiator hose and just let all the radiator or the coolant come out. And then after you get that, you just put the clamp back on and put fresh coolant in, and I'll show you how to do that after this. And you only have to do this, from what Honda says, is you have to do this every 100,000 miles. So I mean, usually cars are going to take, they last what, 200,000, so you might have to do this twice in this car's lifetime. I mean, maybe if you can get your car to go further, that'd be great too. I'm not going to have you guys watch all this coolant leak out, but this is essentially what it is. Pretty easy. If you guys know a better idea, let me know in the comments below. Alright, so I got the coolant taken care of. As you can see, I got some sawdust down to soak up the coolant that I had leak. I still got to put the clamp on. I will do that now. I'm just going to put a tarp over this mess and then get on the tarp and put the clamp back on with this tool. I know I keep showing this tool, but this tool has been great this experience, this repair. Alright, I'll show you how this tool works too. Alright, then you just pull this lever down, or, yeah, down, there you go. Now that's perfect. It's almost like a mechanic did something like this. Anyways, that is how it is done. Now let's go put coolant in, finally. No more tools or tarp. Now, let's put some coolant in. Comes off nice and easy because we had it loose. I think that helped us with the coolant coming out too. So, just so you guys know. Here is the top of the coolant puddle. If you're having a hard time taking this off, all you gotta do is press this in and then rotate it. There you go. Then you take this off. Don't put it in the coolant. Now it's time to pour. I'll be honest, I'll probably miss, so I'm going to put a funnel. Here we go. Something peaceful about just hearing all that coolant going down. Don't want it to overfill. Don't forget to burp the system as well, and I mean by pressing the radiator hoses to get all the air out. Gurgling down. I'm not going to bore you with all this. I'll get back to when I get all this in. Before I get all this in, I wanted to say thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Also, a tip is don't just pour all of it in all at once, because it's going to make a mess and you're going to lose a bunch of coolant, and we don't want that to happen. So we're just going to take it nice and slow. Just like that. Nice steady flow. Really got to be patient with it, for sure. So you can see it popping up. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you can see it coming by the funnel. We don't want that because it'll just make a mess. All right. Almost done with this bottle. Usually what people will do is they'll turn their car on to have the pressure come down and then put more in. And your Civic, if it's a 1.5, is going to take 1.3 gallons. So you want to make sure you have coolant, because if you don't, your car will overheat and you'll have head gasket problems and it won't be fun. So once I get all that filled, I'll put the cap back on and get back to you guys. Alright, now that I got my coolant in, I put the radiator cap on nice and tight. Make sure it's not loose, because if it is, then your coolant's going to be coming out of the cap and that's not going to be good. So, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm basically just going to take the car for a test drive, make sure the temperature is good. Alright, let's see where we're at. Cap's all nice and tight. We don't have high temperature right now. I'm going to drive it around for a little bit and get back with you guys. As you can see, the level is pretty good. Here we are on my Civic. I did want to mention, if you're going for a drive and you're hearing swishing noises when you're accelerating or braking or turning, that is simply because you don't have enough coolant and you're going to have to go back and put more in. Just so you guys know. Alright, well, this is the end of my video. if you see that I did something wrong, please let me know. I don't think I did. I just basically went off physics, gravity, and all that good stuff. But yeah, this is the end of the video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you got some information out of it. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.